You must learn to do that. The future of any movement depends on informed participants rather than emotional reaction. Some of us are too emotional for a thought. Once you see a video, you see an information, you begin to react emotionally without critically looking into it, without paying a critical attention to what is happening. Your emotion will carry you, you begin to speak in a manner that doesn't really make sense. Another challenge the movement faces is internal division. Internal division. History teaches us that many movements struggle not only because of external opposition, but also because of disagreement within their own ranks. Just like we are facing today. What we are facing in Biafra today is not external aggression alone. The major problem we are facing today is internal aggression. People disagree over strategy. People disagree over position. People disagree over priority. People disagree over leadership. People disagree over best paths forward. So many things. People disagree over the best path forward. Disagreement itself is not necessarily a weakness. When we disagree, don't see it as a weakness. It is not necessarily a weakness. In fact, disagreements can be healthy. It can be healthy. We can have a healthy disagreement. So let us not always see it as negative. We can have a healthy disagreement. It can produce better ideas when we disagree. In the process of exchanging words, interrogating each other, sharing views, it can produce better ideas. It can improve decision making. It can reveal weakness that needs to be addressed. Disagreements can reveal weaknesses that need to be addressed. The problem arises when disagreement becomes hostility. When disagreement becomes hostile, that is where we have a problem. Like in the agitation today, the kind of disagreement we have, very hostile. People go to extreme, begin to dig your private life, begin to insult your private life, begin to lie against you. Some will even threaten to take your life. Some will go to the extent of taking your life. So that is where it becomes a problem. The problem begins when people stop listening. Problem begins when individuals view fellow members as enemies. That is where the major problem is. When we begin to see each other as rivals, enemies, arch enemies, rather than colleagues who simply hold different opinion. That is where the challenges come. When we begin to see ourselves as arch enemies instead of colleagues that have just different opinion, that is where the problem lies. Unity does not mean everyone think exactly the same way. I have said it time and time again on my platform that each time when I talk about unity, it doesn't mean that everybody will think exactly the same way. Unity means people remain committed to common goal despite differences. Just like we saw in the day of our remembrance, in the Biafran Heroes Day on 30th, despite all the bickering, despite all the differences, everybody on that 30th was speaking about our heroes. Our heroes, remembrance. You saw the unity we got on that 30th. Despite our differences, despite our groups, despite our opinions differently and ideas, yet everybody was committed to one cause on that day, including those who continue to push their one Nigeria. They joined the cause. The only people that do not join our heroes are the ones who do not join on that Hero Day celebration, and the one that outstandingly you have seen them, they have shown themselves that they have nothing to do with us. They are the 1% who are still benefiting from the criminality of Nigeria. But every other person fell in line. So unity means People remain committed to common goal despite differences. That is an important distinction. Very important distinction when we talk about unity. I have explained it time and time again. So I don't believe that anybody is still confusing about that. A strong community is not one without disagreement. You don't know a strong community by having a community that doesn't have disagreement. A strong community is one that can manage disagreement without destroying itself. Managing disagreement without destroying itself, that is a strong community. And that is the community we intend to build in Biafra struggle. And that is the community, the 100 men of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that is their mission, to build a community where we can have differences, but yet we pursue one goal. That is the community that 100 men is building. That 100 men that they put in place by Mazi Nnamdi, that is the community they are building. A community that can manage disagreements without destroying itself. That is the community that where we are channeling our energy, the 100 men. That is their mission. We can have our differences. You can be in any group, in any title, call yourself anything you want to call yourself. But we must not destroy ourselves. A strong community, a very strong community. That is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu intend to build with 100 men. Tonight, I want to speak directly about leadership. Leadership is often celebrated during moments of success. Leadership is often celebrated during moments of success. Every one of us in this agitation have celebrated Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at one point in time. We all celebrated him. Those of us under Mazi Samoneba, we all celebrated Mazi Samoneba when he was making wave, doing marvelous things. We were hailing and wailing and supporting. People praise leaders when victories occur, as we have praised our leaders. People celebrate leaders when progress is visible, just like we did for our leaders. People admire leaders when circumstances are favorable. But leadership is tested most severely during difficult times. That is when leadership is tested, like we have today. This is the most difficult time of our leadership. Most difficult time, the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the life of Mazi Samoneba. The most difficult time. Leadership is tested during controversy. Leadership is tested during criticism. That is the period we are in now. Leadership is tested during uncertainty. Leadership is tested when supporters become discouraged. As you see, many Biafrans are discouraged. Don't deceive yourself. I bet you many Biafrans are discouraged today. More especially from the attitude of some of us. They are discouraged. Not that they don't want freedom. Not that they don't believe in freedom, but they are discouraged by the attitude of some of us. Leadership is tested when supporters become discouraged. That is when character becomes visible. Throughout history, some leaders responded to pressure with wisdom. And that is exactly what I love with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Samoneba. In all this chaos that is happening, you have never seen Mazi Nnamdi Kanu lambast anybody or talk against anybody. He has always been calling for unity. The message has always been unite, be together. He went a step ahead to create the 100 men, to create a strong community of 100 men so that we can be able to unite and do things together. That is when character becomes visible. And today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is showing that character. Mazi Samoneba, the same thing. From his detention, he has always been calling about unity. He is not divisive. He has never sent any message and say, leave this group, leave this one is not for me. He is always saying, wherever you are, do what you know know how to do best. That has always been the message. The message of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi has always been, any group you are, continue to push the cause of Biafra, because that is what they stand for. That is why they are serving terms. Throughout the history, some leaders responded to pressure with wisdom, and our leaders have responded. Others respond with anger. Some leaders inspired unity. Today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu continue to inspire unity, even from detention. Mazi Simon Ekpa continue to inspire unity, even from detention. Others deepen division. There are some people who their own is to continue to create division. And these people claim to be leader. There are people today, their own mission is to continue to divide Biafrans divide Biafrans more and more. Even when they see you talk about unity, they get angry. When you preach about unity, they get angry. They get so angry. I begin to wonder, what do they want? Even when our leaders that we know are in detention and they are preaching unity, asking us to be one, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu went extra mile to create 100 men, a community of unity. Others continue to deepen division. Some leaders strengthen their movement. Others weaken them. The lesson is clear. Wherever you're watching this program from, the lesson is very clear. Movement should never depend entirely on one individual. Strong movement develops strong institutions. There was a time I was preaching a message on this institution every time. Building institution, because in Africa, we are fond of building strong men and strong women. When you build strong men and strong women, at the end of the day, they become tyrants and you can't control them anymore. It has happened so only few leaders that can control themselves. Building institution is what matters. The institution you build, if you build a strong institution, it will outlive you. Not strong men. Men die, go, another one come. Men die, they always die and go. But the institution will remain. That is why you must build strong institution. Strong movement develop strong institution. Strong movement educate their supporters. Educating educating Biafrans is the most difficult thing I have ever seen. Sometimes I begin to wonder when they say Biafrans are smart, but when I see what some of us do, I begin to wonder, is it that the number of those who are not smart as Biafrans is greater than those who are smart? It seems like the number of those who are not smart is greater than those who are smart. Strong movement educate their supporters. Strong movement prepare future leaders. Strong movement creates structure that can survive challenges. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did that. He created a structure that survives challenges. That is why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu boasted openly and said, you cannot destroy IPOB. And when you see the way the struggle have been going, if not for the structure Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is using, IPOB would have been gone. But IPOB is in the struggle. Just when you think you have destroyed it, it will become more stronger. When they kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the hijackers took it and they thought they were going to make something different. And Mazi Simon Ekpa stood his ground. Build a very stronger standard. When they took away Mazi Simon Ekpa, now Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is there. Instructing also the 100 men. And the 100 men are doing a good job building a community that is unshakable. Strong movement creates structure that can survive challenges. Because no individual remains in leadership forever. Every generation eventually passes responsibility to the next. Definitely. This brings us to another important issue. Loyalty. Loyalty is often misunderstood. Some people believe loyalty means never asking questions. That is not true. Some people believe that loyalty means never asking questions, but that is not true. That is where so much for mostly Africans. That is how we practice our loyalty. You don't question, you follow sheepishly. That is what they call loyalty, but that's not loyalty. Others believe loyalty means defending every action regardless of circumstances. That is not also loyalty. But genuine loyalty is more mature than that. Genuine loyalty is more mature than just accepting anything, not asking questions, following sheepishly, defending the indefensible. That is not. Loyalty is more than that. Genuine loyalty is more than that. Genuine loyalty is more than not asking questions. Is more than defending every action, regardless circumstances. Genuine loyalty include honesty. Genuine loyalty include honesty. Even as you are loyal to the person, don't be dishonest. When you see something that is not right, point it out. As I'm in this platform speaking, when I say something that you don't agree with, that you know that this thing is not right, point it out. You can click the link, come in and challenge me. In your group where you are, when you are in your group, they're discussing something that you know is a lie. You know, deep down in your heart, your spirit is telling you that this is a lie, and you have verified and seen that it's a lie. And still, yes, it's because you want to be loyal, you keep silent. That is not loyalty. Loyalty includes honesty. Genuine loyalty includes accountability. You must be accountable. Accountability. You cannot be loyal and you will be in a place where there is no accountability. No, you are not accountable to anybody. You just want people to follow sheepishly. Nobody's heard it. You must hold your leaders accountable. There must be accountability. That is loyalty. That is genuine loyalty. Genuine loyalty includes constructive criticism when necessary. That is loyalty. Constructive criticism whenever it is necessary. My brothers and sisters, true loyalty is not blind. True loyalty seeks the long-term success of the cause. When supporters care deeply about a movement, they should be willing to discuss difficult issues respectfully and honestly. Respectfully and honestly, this is one thing most of us lack. Many of us, in the discussion of Biafran cause, they lack respect. They will insult people that they know that on the normal ground you can't sit on the table with them. People you know that on the normal conventional ground you can't meet them or stand them and talk. But people will come and insult you, even on comment section, they will come and insult you, call you names, simply because you are standing with them on a struggle. And some can lie, they can never be honest. Even when they know that this thing is a lie, they continue to support it because it is their friend. It is where they believe it. They want to win an argument. They want to win an argument. Silence does not solve problems. Hostility does not solve problems. Thoughtful dialogue is far more effective. As we reflect tonight, let us also consider the role of ordinary people. You and I, of course, we are the ordinary people. What is our own role? What is our own role in this Biafran cause? You and I, what is our own role? What is our own role? Movements are often associated with famous names. But history is shaped not only by leaders, history is shaped by ordinary people like you and I. People who work quietly, people who educate others, like we are doing here. That's our daily work, 3-4 times every day. People who support the communities. There are many of us here who are supporting. People who preserve culture. People who contribute ideas. People who remain committed during difficult period like the one we have now. In this difficult period, many people have fallen out. Many people who are my fellow broadcasters are not broadcasting anymore. Many of us who are talking about Biafra are not talking anymore. Many are not even using their platform to talk about Biafra anymore. Many have chickened out. People who remain committed during difficult periods, like we are, without ordinary people, no movement survives. Without ordinary people like you and I, no movement can survive. Without ordinary people, no cause advances. Without ordinary people, no vision becomes reality. Therefore, every individual has a responsibility. A responsibility to remain informed. A responsibility to remain respectful. A responsibility to seek truth. A responsibility to engage thoughtfully rather than emotionally. Many messages. This one is very important. It is our responsibility to engage thoughtfully rather than emotionally. Wherever you are watching me tonight, any place you are, control your emotions. Don't let your emotion lead you. Don't let your emotion direct you. Be thoughtful at all times. My message tonight is simple. Support principles